Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 283. Andrew Eisen here, along with Jared, and no one else. Jared is the only one here. My counter actually says 0, so it could just be you, Jared. But I can't trust any of these It's funny. YouTube, Twitch, Restream, none of their counters actually work correctly or consistently. They don't even work incorrectly in a consistent manner. So they cannot be trusted. After every stream I do, I get reports from a couple different... I'll only get one for, I get one from YouTube. When I do my Sunday streams, I'm streaming to YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter. And so I get one from Twitch, and I get one from Restream, and the numbers are all different. Actually, the one I get from Twitch still identifies my show incorrectly, so it must be something that's really hard to do correctly. Anyway, Jared says, if you want to watch anime that's based on upshots of skirts... Sure. Try Spy... Oh, man, that's a constant up-the-skirt shot show. That's a shame. Not that that necessarily ruins a show, but unless it's like the point of the show, like they do it as a joke, if that's just done as, oh, and we also, I don't know. Lyrically C, hello. Now my counter says 1. Wait, is it a show... You said, since I know you said it wasn't your taste, so is this show not based on putting the camera below, especially since one of the leads is like 6? Not that stopped anime before. One show I like that is upskirts the show is called Agent Aika. Fairly old show now. But the reason I like that show is because the upskirts are done as a joke. Actually, hey, show and tell! Show and tell! Let's see. Where is it? Yep. Both of my viewers are like, Andrew, we believe you. You don't need to show us. So, Agent Aika, you can... Yeah, that's pretty much the entire show right there. So it's a, spy missions kind of a show. And, yeah, there's the back. There you go. But the thing is my impression of that show is that they're not doing it to be titillating, because it's not. They're doing it to be absurd and funny, which it is. Like, everyone wears Sailor Moon short skirts that barely cover your butt cheeks, and every single person who gets knocked unconscious via punch, falling rebar, shot, they all fall down with their butts in the air. All of them. It doesn't physically make any sense, but everyone who gets knocked unconscious or shot dead pitches forward with their asses pointed skyward. It's the funniest damn thing. To me, maybe I'm the only one who likes this show. Some decent action, too. Granted, I haven't seen it in like 20 years, so maybe my opinion has since changed. But, the joke of the show is how creative can we get? How many different ways can we come up with to justify aiming a camera up a woman's skirt? And they come up with a lot of really amazing ideas. Just a genuinely funny show, to me anyway. They did a sequel series called Aika R16, which is a prequel which stars Aika when she was a child. So, yeah, gross. I don't like this one. This one's just disgusting, because this one comes off as if they're just trying to titillate you rather than make you laugh. I did not laugh. I did not laugh at all. I said ew. Anyway, so Agent Aika. But anyway, Spy X family, Spy Cross family, Spy Times family. I'm not sure how that's supposed to be pronounced. Sadly, I think Crunchyroll's now doing the thing. It's like you can watch the first 3, but then you can't watch anymore. So I'm like, but what if I like it? Then I'm just gonna have to hope it hits Netflix or something. I don't know. But yeah, Spy X Family is something that looked cool. For those who don't know, there's a spy, and he needs to... His mission requires him to have a family, so he hooks up with some woman and they adopt or steal a child. The woman ends up being an assassin, and the child ends up being a psychic, so she can read both her parents' thoughts. They're trying to hide the fact that they're assassin and spy, respectively, but she can read their thoughts anyway. So it sounds like a real fun idea. I'll probably check out at least the first episode, and if I like it, then I'll watch the first 3. And no further, because Crunchyroll won't let me unless I give them money. Which, you know, fair enough. Just don't lie to me and say it's for my own benefit to expose me to more anime or some crap like that. It's because you need the money. That's fine. Just be honest. If you were honest, Crunchyroll, I might have signed up. Probably not, but you never know. Now you never will. Alright. Jared, you meant not. Okay. Good to hear. Yeah, I don't necessarily mind fan service as long as it doesn't get in the way of the show, or as long as you're not jamming a camera up some schoolgirl's bum. I mean, if it's a if it's a anime about the competitive world of colonoscopies, then then cameras should be right up people's butts. But otherwise, it's just annoying, and it's also gross since most anime seems to focus around school children. Yeah, we've got this 15-year-old girl in high school, but what color underwears is she wearing? Come on. I just want her to manifest demonic powers and smite the school or something. You know, anime. I want her hair to stand on end, and I want her to go, ah! You know, that's what I want out of my anime. Lyrically says, I wonder when it's supposed to fanfare or intentional when they have upskirt shots, or to be fanfare, I meant. Well, you wrote fanfare both times, so not quite sure what you were going for there. Cafe Fox, hello. Yeah, lyrically, see, Agent Aika, I think it's definitely not going to be for everyone, but I thought it was funny. So, for the last few years, I have been aware of the existence of Billie Eilish. I have no idea how her name is actually pronounced, but I'm guessing Eilish. And for the past several years, I've had absolutely no clue who the hell she is or what she does. Just that she exists. Because I keep seeing her name in the headlines of articles that I'm not reading because I don't give a poo about celebrity stuff. Because every time I see an article with her name on it, it's like, look at what Billie Eilish was wearing. I don't care. Look at her facial expression. I don't care. But look at what she was wearing. I don't care. Who is she? I almost care enough to actually Google her and see who the hell she is. So last month I was watching Turning Red, the Pixar movie about the gal that turns into a panda. And I'm watching the credits like a good film fan. And I see her name in the credits as one of the co-writers of the Four Town, the boy band team, the boy band group, the boy band group in the show. She was one of the writers on. I'm like, she's a musician. Oh, now I know who Billie Eilish is. And I'm sure she's a snazzy dresser and makes fun facial expressions, but I could not possibly give less of a shit about someone's fashion sense or if they have a penchant for sticking their tongue out at people or whatever she does in public. But now I know she's a musician, singer-songwriter, and she did a very nice job co-writing the Four Town music for Turning Red, because she and whoever was writing with her did a really wonderful job of capturing the oral aesthetic of early 2000s boy band music and everything that frustrates me about them. It's like, okay, so we're going to have 4 or 5 dudes, right? Right. And they're all going to be great singers. Okay. So we're going to have usually just one soloist and maybe 1 or 2 harmony parts. It's like, you've got 5 singers! Use them! Harmony, goddammit! But they rarely ever do. Occasionally they'll build out like a bell chord or something like that, but for the most part, with these boy bands, 4 or 5 dudes, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, for the most part, the most you are ever going to get is the lead melody and maybe 1 or 2 harmony parts. Rarely does it ever break out into 4 or 5 part harmony, and if it does, it's usually very brief. Which is a shame. Because Backstreet Boys and NSYNC are, were composed of dudes who could actually carry a tune. And it would have made the music better. Fan service, it should have said, and both. I'm guessing that's an autocorrect thing where both times it corrected fan service to fanfare. Goddamn autocorrect. I had hang on. I had an autocorrect fail, or actually a fail to autocorrect fail. I texted my sister, we're gonna do a monthly movie mini reviews, and I said, does 6 p.m. MT time work for you? I meant to type my, and Y is right next to the T, so my big fat fingers probably screwed it up. But I'm amazed that didn't autocorrect to my, or me, or something, because MT is not a word. So, yeah, phones, what are you going to do? Billie Eilish is how you pronounce it? Okay. Rerum Trading, hello. Chicago, hello. Lyrically, see, I don't understand the boy band arrangements at all. Yeah. I don't get it. You've got 4 or 5 singers. You have the opportunity to do something super cool, and you're just not. And Billie Eilish and whoever she was composing with definitely did exactly that. It's usually just a 1 lead melody, and I guess the other dudes are just standing there picking their nose. Occasionally they'll have an accompanying 1 or 2 harmony parts, and there is one bit where it busts out into 5-part harmony, but I think it's for like 1 sustained note with doubling. But I'd have to listen to it again because it was over a month ago and I don't remember. But anyway, the point of this story is, after years of idly wondering who the hell Billie Eilish is, now I know who the hell Billie Eilish is. And I bet she feels a lot better about herself now. Because I'm sure it's been nagging at her for the last couple of years. It's like, God, Andrew Eisen doesn't even know who I am. Like, he's aware of my existence, but he has no idea what I do. Well, Billy, I do now. I only know one small piece of your professional oeuvre. I'm sure the rest of it is keen. Um, Hell, you've been doing stuff for years, so odds are I actually have heard some of your work. I just have no idea if it's you. It's kind of like Beyonce. Like, I'm aware of who Beyonce is, and I do know what she does. She's another musician, but I couldn't name one of her songs to save my life. I'm sure she is so ubiquitous. I'm sure I have heard probably several of her songs. No idea which ones are hers though. I don't know. I should probably listen. I hear she's really good. I should probably, or at the very least, she's very popular. I should probably, just listen to an album one time and just get a sense. Anyway. So, this was a week of learning things. So, not only did I learn who Billie Eilish is, I learned that Moonfall, which is the Roland Emmerich movie, about the moon falling onto the Earth, and it's also hollow, and there's a swarm of alien nanobots or something, which seems overly complicated to me. Just the moon's falling. That seems enough, but I haven't seen the film, so maybe it works gangbusters. Anyway, I remember seeing the trailer for it and going, "Oh, hey, big obnoxious disaster movie, neat." I'm not going to the theater for that or anything else, but neat. Maybe if it's on a streaming service I pay for, I'll give it a watch. I remember I forget what it's called, but there's a movie came out in the last few years where they I think Jupiter is about to crash into the Earth or something like that, so they build rocket engines on the ass end of the Earth, on one side of the Earth, to literally drive the Earth out of orbit and somewhere else. Or maybe the sun's going to explode, and so they're moving the entire planet to a better to a nearby star, something like that. But point is they build rockets, or they build engines on one side of the Earth to drive it through the solar system. It's wonderful. I love that. What's it talking about? Oh, Moonfall. So Moonfall came out in February. I had no idea. Let me give a quick... I'm pretty sure it was February. Let me double check on that. Moonfall. There's a falling moon. Yeah, early February, so over 2 months ago. I don't recall anyone reviewing it or talking about it. Did it do very, very poorly? Let's look it up together and see how Moonfall did. This will be fun. Let's see. Moonfall. 38% tomato meter for the critics. No one cares about the audience score. So looks like generally people didn't care for it that much. Not too surprising for that kind of a movie. Let's see. Bop-de-boo, bop-de-boo. Let's see. And Moonfall did... Oh, it opened, did it have a limited release or something? How many screens did it have? It doesn't say, but it opened just under 10 mil. Ooh, that's not good. What's its budget? Don't know. Does it say? Looks like it's had a domestic gross, domestic of under 20 million and worldwide just over 40. Yeah. Yeah, unless this was only opened in a few theaters, this bombed. Oh man. No wonder I haven't heard anyone talking about it. No one went to see it. Was Independence Day 2 that bad? I never saw it. Lyrically, see, I thought it just came out. I didn't think it came out yet because no one was talking. I remember seeing the trailers. I remembered the movie. And I forget what context I actually... someone had mentioned it. Actually, what was it? Let me... let me take a wild guess. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, Red Letter Media had a review of it earlier this week. That floated across my recommends. It's like, look, Red Letter Media reviewed Moonfall. I'm like, how'd they do that? It's not out yet. I looked it up and went, it came out 2 months ago? How come no one told me? Yeah. Let's see. Who actually reviewed it? Bop, 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 bop. Okay, so, 199 critical reviews. Herald Sun, K, never heard of him. The Christian Century. The Christian Century thought it was, gave it a fresh. Wow, I've never heard of any of these people. Nope. Mr. Movies Film Blog. Okay. Screen Zealots. Fun. The Movie Cricket. Mediaversity Reviews. Buttered Popcorn. Are these all fan websites? Just like personal blogs or something? I'm going on to page 3. It hasn't been anyone I've heard of yet. Oh, Common Sense Media. Yeah, sure. They gave it a fresh too. Bunch of assholes. Screen Rant. Okay, there's one I've actually... I had to go 4 pages deep before I found a reviewer that I've actually heard of. Rachel's Reviews. Entertainment Weekly. Heard of that one. Okay. Sift Pop. Larson on Films. We Have a Hulk gave it a splat review. Oh my god, they had to... no disrespect to any, except, Common Sense Media. No disrespect for any... I'm sure you're all lovely people. Okay, well, there's... What I'm going to say is very disrespectful, and, I apologize for it, but they seem to be scraping the bottom of the barrel for... gotta figure out a better phrase here. Because I'm sure you're all lovely publications, and I don't. The mainstream reviewers weren't interested, so they had to plumb the B team. I don't know. Dan Murrell reviews. The New Yorker. Okay, heard of that one. Just My Opinion reviews. This seriously sounds like just one person who runs their own film blog, Chicago Sun-Times, Richard Roper. Okay, there's one I've heard of, sure. Slate. Okay, sure. This is seriously like I'm 6 pages in. I've heard of like 4 or 5 of these reviewers and publications. Wonder if it because of COVID restrictions. I mean, it might be part of that. I mean, the review kind of thing might be. Uh, like if whatever studio put this film out, if they did not send out screeners, then a lot of the critics and publications may have been like, well, I'm not going to go out and see it. I'm not gonna go out in the pandemic to see Moonfall. Forget it. Spider-Man, sure. Sonic 2, yeah. But Moonfall? Nah, man. I'm just kind of getting a kick going through this and reading various... the Daily Mail. Can flush that down the toilet. Associated Press, okay. AV Club, sure. Chicago Tribune. Why are these on page 7? Are these in order? They might be in order by date. Come watch the Molehill Mountain podcast where Andrew reads the internet. Mashable, heard of that one. Paul's Trip to the Movies. The internationally known Paul's Trips to the Movies. Casey's Movie Mania. Ooh, I like this one. It's better in the dark. Vanity Fair, there, okay, sure, know that one. Polygon, okay, no Polygon. I like the pull quote from Polygon, though. This film could have literally given us the moon. Instead, it offers the world's noisiest lullaby. That's not bad. Next week, Andrew reads the phone book. Yeah. Okay. Whoops. Oh, browser. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Sorry. Okay. My browser just went kersplat there for a minute. Alright. So let's chronicle some Xenoblades. Definitively. So, after... My golly, what... I think it's... there's ads trying to load on this page and they're failing or something because the browser keeps going like that. I think it's trying to load in an ad and failing, and so it's adjusting the screen to make room for an ad, but the ad's not loading, so it's putting the screen back. Oh, God. And you wonder why people block ads. And Jared says, I think we're used to you surfing the web on streams. Yeah. So, last week, I believe, I finally finished Horizon Zero Dawn. The game that finally ended. And, so I... Well, that's gonna... Hang on just a second. Oh, my God. Hang on. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. Oh, shit. Okay, well that's kind of serious. I mean, not the most horrible thing ever, but... So, I am a guy... And as a guy, I left the kitchen light on. And as a guy, I have myriad faults. One of those faults is if I can't see something, it doesn't exist. Object permanence, not a strength of mine. So, for example, when it comes to cleaning my living space, I actually do clean. But if I don't see something, I don't clean it. Like the inside of the microwave. Because here's my desk. Here's how tall I am. The microwave is like down here. So I can't see into the microwave. So I can't see how disgusting and filthy it is. So I forget to clean it. The underside of the covering over my stovetop, I'm taller than it, so I can't see up under it, and it's covered in where the grease splatters up. I forget to clean that. So I was just looking over there where my front door is, and I could see the dirt piled on top of the door jamb, because I don't clean that, because I don't think of it. So I had to clean it real quick, and it's disgusting. That's how much dirt was piled up on top of my door jamb. So much that I could see it while looking up at the door jamb. And I broke the door stop. This is the thing that sticks again off the door at a perpendicular angle so that it doesn't, so it bumps against the wall. It just snapped straight off, so that's less than ideal. So Xenoblade Chronicles. That last boss takes forever. Which one? The Xenoblade? I haven't beaten Xenoblade yet, so... Anyway, so, Horizon Zero Dawn, finally finished it. Moved to another game in my games I haven't finished. So I started, Xenoblade Chronicles, in earnest to see if I can finish the game. I have not finished it yet. But I would like to talk about it. Because the game actually really upset me last night. Xenoblade, I think a lot of people like Xenoblade more than I do. I'm one of those weird people who, the last story is my favorite of the Rainfall 3. Xenoblade Chronicles, the last story in Pandora's Tower. I actually like, last story quite a bit more than Xenoblade Chronicles. Horizon Zero Dawn, what was the last boss? Well, it depends if you're talking about Horizon's last boss or Frozen Wild's last boss. In Horizon, it's just a Deathbringer, and I think there's like a couple of Corruptors wandering around too, but I don't know. I took them. I mean, unless you're considering that entire sequence where you have the siege of the waves of enemies coming at you, and Deathbringers and Stormbirds and stuff like that. But you have the big cannon thing, and that blows them up real nicely. It did take a while, but it was pretty easy. I just stood there with the cannon, just shooting things, and they eventually blew up. Of course, I had maxed out Aloy. I had long since maxed her out by that point, so I was at the level 60 cap. So, yeah, I just kind of... I thought it was fun, because you got to use that one lady who built the big cannon thing, so you have the big cannons that you can fight the things with, which just blows them up real good. Helios, or whatever the dude's name, I didn't even realize I was fighting him for like half of the battle. I'm like, why? I keep shooting this guy in the head. Why is he not dying? Oh, that's the main bad guy dude. Oh, okay. I didn't even realize I was fighting him. I thought it was just some other dude. I'm like, arrow, arrow, arrow. Thump right in the head. Oh, and his health goes, doop. I'm like, what the hell? Didn't realize I was fighting the main guy. Yeah, there's no unique boss at the end of Horizon. It's a bit disappointing. You just fight another Deathbringer. And there's a few Corruptors wandering around, but your dudes took care... In my experience, the dudes took care of them. So, I don't know. Anyway, so Xenoblade Chronicles. Maybe it wasn't fully leveled. It took me a while before I beat it. I mean, it takes a while to do. Deathbringers, Corruptors, Stormbirds... Fire Claws, those are frozen wild monsters, but they do take, at best, several minutes. They're just damage sponges. They do take a long time to... I actually get bored of... Some of the monsters in Horizon I got bored of fighting before I'm like, okay, I'm ready for you to die now. You're not hitting me. I'm fine, but... yeah. Anyway, so Xenoblade... Long game. Although I've only been playing it for like... this one actually tracks your time. I've only got 80 hours in it. Whereas Horizon Zero Dawn, I have no idea what the play length was. It felt like 200 and some hours, but so Xenoblade long game. Basic premise of the game is you live on the body of a titan. And long ago, there were two titans, the Bionis, which you live on, and the Mechonis. And they were locked in mortal combat, and they both swung their swords at each other and both killed each other. So now these two titans are just standing there, and two civilizations, the Homs, which are human beings, live on the Bionis, and the Mechonis live on the Mechon. The Mechons live on the Mechonis, the machine peoples. Right? Cool. So in Xenoblade, you're going on a quest. You live on Colony 9 or something on the Bionis' knee. And your quest takes you up its leg to its hip, around to its back, up its back, around to the front, onto its head, back down to the shoulder, down the arm, and across the sword, all the way over to the Mechonis, where you fall off and land at the Mechonis' feet. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now we have to get to the Mechonis' head where the bad guy is, right? So I'm figuring there's a town at the very bottom, and like, oh, we're going to see how the other side lives. We're going to journey up the Mechonis' leg and up its body, and we're going to see all kinds of different biomes and different townships and meet some different characters, and nope, you pretty much take an elevator right up to the head. Oh. I wonder if that was a time and budget thing or a pacing thing, or it's like, oh god, this game is going to be 300 hours long if we if we don't just get him to the head. So Jared says Deathbringer's rather easy to down. Once you know what to do, yeah, most of the enemies there's a trick to it, but if you don't know the trick, you could be firing hardpoint arrows into their asses for like 15 minutes. That's the interesting thing about Horizon Zero Dawn is you need to learn the enemy and learn how to deal with him. I mean, you could brute force it. It's just going to take a long damn time. Some of them can be spongy anyway, but anyway, so last night, I didn't get to sleep at all. No. So I'm thinking this is like the final battle. So we get to the final area, and we hit a cutscene. Long ass cutscene, dropping knowledge bombs left and right. All the reveals are happening. We get in a fight with the bad guy. Okay, I died. He TPKs my part. That's one thing. That's one of the things about Xenoblade Chronicles I don't like. A lot of times it's just not clear what's happening in fights. Like, all three of my characters were fine, and then suddenly all three of them were dead, and I have no idea what happened. And that happens occasionally. It's really irritating. So the game reloads me on the other side of the room. I didn't lose any progress or anything, but I have to walk all the way back down this hallway to get to I don't have to sit through the cutscene again. It just restarts the fight. But there's nothing in the hallway. There's no enemies there. There's no platforming to do. It's just, here's the boss, and you die, and instead of starting you here so you can just try the boss again, they start you over here. For no reason other than you have to walk all the way back to the boss. That's irritating. Are you telling me not a single playtester ever bought it at that boss and went, hey, can we put the reload checkpoint like right next to the boss so the gamer doesn't have to spend a minute walking all the way back? I see that. That's not just Xenoblade. I see that in a lot of games. The final boss in PNO3. Remember that? It's a good game. You should. It does the same thing. If you die to the boss, it restarts you, not right at the boss, but like 2 rooms back. And there are these big damn rooms that take 30 seconds to run across. And each of these rooms have this big pit in the middle. So you can't just run straight across the room. You have to go around this hole in the floor. it takes like a full minute or so to run back to the boss. And there's literally zero reason for that. It's so annoying. Anyway, so I beat the boss. Cutscene. Long, long, long cutscene. Oh, surprises. Oh, drama. Oh, betrayals. Oh, it's a twist. Oh, this person's dead. Oh, this person lives. Oh, the cavalry has come. Oh, the cavalry just got shot out of the sky. Oh, we've revealed another it goes on and on and on, and then it's finally over. And you run down a corridor for about 2 minutes, and then you hit another really long cutscene. Until you get back to, I think you end up in Colony 6, and then you finally have control again, and you run outside, across the town, outside the town, around the outside of the town to where Fiora, whatever her name is, standing, and then you sit through another long cutscene, and then you have a battle. I swear, I wasn't timing it, but I think it's nearly 3 hours of story cutscenes, punctuated by, I think, 3 or 4 boss fights, and, like, 2 or 3 corridor walks. Like, they are broken up by not really gameplay, but just a long walk down an empty, featureless corridor. Oh man, that was driving me nuts. Because I had started the game last night because I had just finished my work week. I'm like, I just want to relax and play Xenoblade Chronicles. And Xenoblade Chronicles is no, you will not play. You will watch. I'm like, I just want to play the game. I just want to beat the snot out of some monsters. Take care of some side quests. Pick up the little heart-to-heart conversations. No. It's story cutscenes all the way, buddy boy. Story's pretty decent. Could have been paced better. Rule of thumb, if you're doing a 3-hour-long exposition dump at one point, you might consider spreading that out over the narrative a bit. So, I spent a good chunk of the day just wandering around, because the game has a wonderful fast travel system. The game loads real snappy. I mean, I don't think you can load from any area in the game into any other area in the game, I think in less than 10 seconds. It's pretty nice. So I've been going around just exploring, seeing where some of the side quests are I missed, and doing the heart-to-hearts and stuff, just because I think I might be at the final boss. I'm like approaching the literal beating heart of the Bionis. And I think it's going to be the sub-bad guy and then maybe the bad guy. On the other hand, I'm like level 75 and there's still like level 99 monsters running around. So I don't know if the game's about to end and it expects me to grind for 10 or 15 hours so that I can fight some of the monsters, or if there's a lot of game left. I really don't know. Jared says a walk of shame, punishment for death. Yeah. Viper says, hey Viper, speaking of game time, do you find yourself spending more time on the PS4 or Switch? Oh, PS4 easily, by like a landslide. Oh, since you're actually awake for one of these, nice. There is very although Xenoblade I'm playing on the Switch, yeah. Switch still love me my Nintendo, but yeah, the Switch does not have a vast library of games that I'm even interested in. Love Mario. Mario Odyssey was good. Breath of the Wild is a very good game, just one I didn't really connect with. Still looking forward to hearing more about Breath of the Wild 2. Luigi's Mansion 3 I enjoyed. Most of the games, and the Switch is chock-a-block, with great games. Just ones I'm not into, like ARMS, or Mario Kart, or Smash Brothers, or Splatoon. Great games, just games I have no interest in playing. And a lot of the games are games I already played on the Wii, or rather the Wii U. Pikmin 3, great game. Already played it on the Wii U. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, phenomenal game. Already played it on the Wii U. Super Mario 3D Worlds, fantastic game. Already played it on the Wii U. I'd really like to play that Bowser's Fury thing, but I ain't rebuying the game for it. So yeah, I'm playing. Even it was just announced in the last couple of days that No More No More Heroes 3 is going to be on the PS4 and the other systems. So I'm like, oh, may as well wait until it's on the PlayStation 4, where it will almost certainly run better. I hear that No More Heroes 3 is a fun game, but it's got some performance issues, frame rate hiccups and stuff like that. Odds are it will run better on the PS4. So why not play it? Because portability means nothing to me. May as well play it on the PS4. So yeah, I still love my Nintendo, but yeah, this generation it's been mostly PS4. So, that's how Xenosaga 2 and 3 were on the PS2. Long cutscenes. Yep, sounds like a Xeno game. Xenosaga 2 even came with a DVD full of cutscenes so you could catch up on the events. Razorhog, hello. What kind of work do? I do quality assurance. Jared says that sounds like Trails. Trails, I think, is better paced. I mean, even that exceptionally long cutscene that we ended the last week's stream on, which took, I think, 80 minutes? For most players, that's probably only half an hour. I mean, it's 80 minutes because I'm reading all the dialogue out loud and goofing on it. So, this was just had to have been 3 hours. Now, granted, some of that was actually boss fights, and walks down a corridor. That tells me that the developers knew that their cutscenes and story stuff was running way too long, and they needed to break it up, but they had no gameplay. So it's okay, now we return control to the player so that they can just walk to the next cutscene. I think I would just rather they not. I don't know. It's just really irritating. And it's at the point where there's a couple places in the game that I like, the Hyentia city. I can't go there right now. I don't think maybe it was destroyed. I'm not sure. Didn't seem to really clearly articulate why I can't go into a couple places, but I can't. Also, most of the side quests are, again, I finally got out of that cutscene nonsense. It's do you want to go fight the big bad? I'm like, no, I just want to play the game. Oh, look, some cutscene, or some side quests. And I gather the side quests, and it's oh, go defeat monsters. Cool. And these monsters are 20 levels higher than me. I'm like, oh. So, in other words, I can't do any of these side quests right now. Nice. I don't it depends. Jared says I like long cutscenes, so I don't see the problem. Depends on if the cutscene's any good or not. And the story for it's all about pacing, really. One problem. There are several, but one problem that Xenoblade runs into is your party is 7 characters, something like that. You also have a few tag-alongs. So you've got you've got a cutscene with 8 to 10 people in it, right? Everyone has to have their say, even though everyone's saying the same exact thing. It's Karna is oh no, my friend from the thing, he's dying and we've got to stay here for them. And Ryan says, no, Karna, he's made his choice. He has to stay here and you have to come with us. And then Shulk says, Ryan is right. You need to come with us because he's made his choice. Fiona, that's right. He's made his choice. So you need to come with us. Ricky, that's right. Karnapan, or I keep using her Japanese, Sharna, I think they call her in English. It's so weird seeing it written Sharna and then hearing everyone say Karna. I'm like, why just leave her name Karna? That's, I don't know. Anyway. And it just cycles through every single person saying exactly the same thing. And it just wastes time. I guess it gives every character a moment to shine, and I'm glad the actors are earning their paychecks, but good God. We need to go fight the bad guy. Who's with me? I'm with you, Shulk, because I'm always with you and you never steer us wrong. I'm with you too, Shulk. I'm glad I'm here with all the rest of you. So am I. And it's like, oh God, we're going to go through every single character with it. You remember last week when I was making that joke about how the 4 Ouroboros characters all introduce themselves? I thought it would be funny if, because they're facing down a squad of like 20 of the good guys. I'm like, I hope all 20 of the good guys in turns, like, I'm Dave and I went to school for accounting but got drafted into the Royal Army. It's like, I'm Philip and I was Dave's roommate, and just went through the entire, just for half an hour. And that's a joke because that's stupid. You definitely don't want to do that, but Xenoblade does that. Oh, it's so irritating. I like the characters. The story is pretty good. One thing that drives me nuts, though, is Shulk has this nasty habit. Well, Fiona, whatever her name is. Both the leads have this nasty habit of not telling their party members what's going on. Like if they're having some problems. No. What's wrong? Nothing. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm fine. You know you can talk to me, right? I know. And if there was something wrong, I would tell you. It's like, Shulk, you know that you can talk to us, right? Yep. So is there anything wrong? No. And bad things happen because it's like, Shulk, why didn't you tell us? I'm sorry. Look, dude, if something's wrong, we're here for you. We'll work through it together. Whenever you have one of your stupid visions or something's not sitting right, just tell us. You're right. I will. He never does. They establish it really early how he's, he never does. Maybe he does at the very end of the game or something, but both Shulk and Fiona, whatever her name is, both of them will not to ever, at any point, ever, no matter how many times the other characters are begging them to stop pulling this shit, they keep doing it. It keeps getting them all in trouble, and it's like, gosh darn it, guys. Just tell us about this stuff. We're here to help. You're right. I've learned my... No, you haven't learned your lesson. You're just going to do it again. It drives me nuts. I hate that. Alex Perez, hello. Opened up my YouTube app at the restaurant, saw that you were live, just wanted to check in and say hello. I'll catch one of these live someday, I promise. All right, well, enjoy your dinner. Mage's... I can't do Yoda. Mage's choice he has. Come with us, you must come. Also, one issue with this this ending series of cutscenes is the story they're telling is well thought out and actually interesting, but it's all coming at us at once. I think it would have served the game better if a lot of this information was doled out a bit more evenly over the course of the adventure rather than dumped on you in the course of 3 hours. Because it's just a lot. Especially when you're in a mood to play a video game. Don't let your story get in the way of the gamer playing the video game. It's still a fine game. I'm still not really sold on the battle system of Xenoblade Chronicles. It's okay. The biggest problem I have with it is it a lot of times it's really unclear what's going on. So many RPGs do that, says Lyrically C. Keeps hiding something from the team until later in the game. Yeah, that whole hiding something from the rest of the team is a trope, and it's a fine one because you can wring a lot of drama out of it. But it's usually like, one character will be hiding something, and then it comes out at the, towards the end of the game. They learn their lesson and move on from there, right? No, in Xenoblade Chronicles, Shulk is like seeing visions, but he won't tell anyone about it. And within the first 10 hours of the game, Ryan's like, they get in, it's like, wait, you knew that was going to happen? I didn't think it meant anything. It's like, okay, but the next time you see one of those visions, even if you don't understand what it means, even if it shows like one of our deaths or something, just tell us and we'll figure this out together, okay? He's like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'll make sure that I don't. And he does it again and again. They've had this same conversation several times, at least 4 times throughout the course of the adventure. And at this point, you just want to slap the characters. I'm being pretty hard on the game that I claim that I like. So let me talk about some of the stuff I really do like. Xenoblade Chronicles has one of the best video game worlds. One of my... I'm thinking about, like, Breath of the Wild. For me, Hyrule and Breath of the Wild is one of, if not the best realized video game worlds. I don't know if Xenoblade's better, but it's certainly right up there. It's just such a unique location. You live on the body of these giant beings, and you can stare up, and you can stare out across and look at the being on the other side looming in the mist. It's really cool. The scale is not correct, but it's still very... One thing Xenoblade does very, very well is just big, grand scale. A lot of the areas you are in are just humongous and awe-inspiring. It has an enormous variety of different biomes, and different places and cultures. The way everything fits together is just really, really well done. It's a wonderful game world. YouTubers, hello Xenofans, hello. I do like the they've got a very story-wise. It's a really interesting story. The game's over 10 years old. I guess I can spoil what I know of it so far. So you have your peoples who live on one giant being, and the robot peoples who live on the other giant being. And the robot peoples are coming over and starting shit, right? So now you're going on they invade and they kill a bunch of your friends, and so you go on you gotta venture out into the world and stop them, right? But there's a lot more going on. You have the magic sword that is the only thing that can hurt the metal peoples. Oh, but it doesn't work on these specific metal peoples. It also doesn't work on humans. It's one of those swords that you can stab people with, but it doesn't affect them. It only works against the metal monsters. Oh, well, that's handy. Except the big, powerful metal monsters. Why doesn't it work against them? Well, you find out later that they haven't really been killing people so much as kidnapping them and, like, doing Borg things and, like, grafting them onto robot bodies. So now your magic sword won't work on the robot bodies because they've got people inside them. Huh, okay, that's... So not only do we have the double whammy of, oh no, our friends have been conscripted into the collective, but we also can't do any damage. That's an interesting idea. And there's a lot of really cool lore and stuff that's... I think could have been dribbled out more over the course of the adventure, because most of it's dumped right at the end where I am, where you start learning about why the mechons, why the robot peoples are doing what they're doing, what their beef is, why the the two giant monsters were fighting in the first place, and the gods that are essentially the souls inhabiting the giant monsters, and Shulk. One of the characters that you find that was killed at the very beginning of the game, you actually find later, but they're in a robot body now. And so there's and it's like, oh well, crap! If we beat the metal peoples, then your power supply goes bye, and you die. But they're actually kind of already dead, and then you learn the main character is actually died, but was holding the soul of the Bionis to get the thing to do the thing. It goes all over the place, and I think the story is great. It could have been paced better. So a lot of varied characters that are really cool. A great cast of characters. The design is really hit and miss. Like, I love a lot of the design. The environmental design is almost uniformly wonderful. The character design is almost uniformly wonderful. The costume design is really hit and miss. Some of it is really cool, and some of it is, oh my god, what are you thinking? I do, however, love the fact that when you get a piece of armor or, hat, chest piece, gloves, pants, boots, who you equip it on changes how it looks. So the chest piece on Shulk looks incredibly different when it's on Karna, and it looks different when it's on Ricky the Nopon. So that's a really cool touch. That makes it fun to check out what all the and not just if the armor's any good, but what it looks like. And some of the armor sets that they have in this game are really genuinely really cool, and some of them are super obnoxious, but in a way that I kind of love, and some of them are just really dumb. So it's a bit of a mix. It does leans towards the cool end, I think. Really, the problem I have is the way the game is structured. There is you want to do side quests for the sake of doing side quests, because I don't think any of the armor or weapons or anything I've been awarded as a result of a side quest or beating a monster has ever, over the course of 80 some hours, ever been better than what I already had. Which makes it makes side quests less fun, because it's like, oh, I get a pair of pants out of it? Well, it's nowhere near as good as the pants I have, so what's the point? That, bong. You lose a lot of the joy of discovery when you go to a new town and you raid the shop and you buy all the cool gear, and it's like, okay, out into the wild blue yonder, but everything is going to be weaker than what I have. It's like, oh, well, this is not as fun. Lyrically C says, I can see you doing the video game fashion review for Xenoblade Chronicles. I actually do have one in the can for Lady Demetress for Resident Evil Village that my sister and I did last year. It's kind of waiting for maybe some Village DLC or something like that, to trying to capitalize on it. I have it. I haven't edited it yet. I just need to remember that I still have the footage for it. It would be very difficult to do a fashion police for Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, I guess I could pick a character and do the default outfit. One thing that's nice about the game is all of the cutscenes, at least all the ones I've seen so far, are real time. So whatever stupid-ass outfit you're wearing is the stupid-ass outfit you're going to see in the cutscene, which is pretty great. That's why I shouldn't buy equipment. that your two troopers. That's fair enough. It's like, well, I mean, if buying all the equipment in the town is ruining the experience of the side quest rewards, don't buy stuff from the shop. That is that's... I can't help it, though. I can't help it. Buy all the things. I'm one of those filthy min-maxers. Naked Dunban critique. There are unless you're talking about a mod, there are there are underwear, more swimsuit costumes or armors that I think the chest piece is just called oil or something, like it's sunscreen or something, and the characters are standing around in board shorts or bikinis or something. That's pretty funny. All of my characters are in just an absolute mismatch of stuff, so that they all look obnoxious because I'm just using the best parts. Definitive Edition, compared to the one that came out on Wii, did an absolutely marvelous job of making the various menus much more user-friendly, because, oh boy, that there is... So, you have a party of like 7 people. Every single one of them has a weapon and 5 armor pieces to equip. The armor pieces often have gem slots, which you have to equip individually, that, buff various attributes. You also collect little rocks and elements and stuff that you forge into the gems that you plug into your stuff. So that's another menu right there. You also have arts, which are your special attacks, which you also find books that you can read so that you can power up your arts. Then you have all of the, just the garbage that you pick up off the ground that you can trade for stuff that you can use to complete quests or to rebuild Colony 6 or to do all kinds. So there's just a mess of stuff to do. And the menuing system in the original release of Xenoblade Chronicles, not quite up to the challenge. They did a lot of quality of life improvements to Definitive Edition, and oh my Lanta, are they much appreciated. Oh, the game is much easier to play, just from a usability standpoint. They may have gone a little bit overboard with showing you exactly where every item you need for every side quest is. You can you turn that off? I'm not sure. You can turn off the actual waypoint path thing, but you could just not stare at the map and just wander around, and if you walk up to a monster, it has a little exclamation point above it. Oh, he must be holding a thing for my side quest. On the other hand, it is helpful when you need pieces, and it's like, I don't know where are the Ponyo monsters hanging out. I don't know. So that's nice. I do find that generally speaking, the monster design is uninspired. They're just kind of, it's a big frog, it's a big spider, it's a big caterpillar, it's a weird looking horse. Most of the monsters are just not very interesting to look at. That's a shame. I think from what I saw of Xenoblade X, they did a much better job with the monster design. Much more appealing, much more interesting looking monsters. Viper, buy all the potions and then never use them, just in case we need them later. While fighting the last boss, that is exactly what I do. Yep. You can always tell the kind of what kind of gamer you are. Check your inventory before the final boss. Do you have like 99 health potions and things that you just never use? I am constantly running out of room because I am constantly having to run back to a store and sell stuff because I have all this really low level material used to make gems. I'm like, I need to just go sell all this crap because I can't make any good stuff with it because it's just too low. Because I'm up on level 4 and 5 stuff. I don't need the level 1, 2, and 3 stuff. I should just sell all of it. But I am a hoarder. I admit it. I hoard stuff. Truber says you can turn off some of the indicators. You can't turn off the original markers. Yeah, the definitive edition does have a lot of you don't have to mark out the quests, but if you're standing next to a monster, it will have an exclamation point over its head. That I'm fine with. So you can just not engage with that. Let's see what else. One interesting aspect of the game is what the game wants you to do. Is you may think that, oh, you've got a party of 7 people, you can only have 3 people in your active party at any time. Shulk is always going to, the guy with the Monado, he's going to be the lead, and then you just pick the other 2 characters. What the game wants you to do is it wants you to try all the different characters, not just in the supporting roles, but in the lead role. In fact, you don't even have to have Shulk in your main party. And they try and encourage you to do that by having an affinity system. So, the more you have people in the active party work with each other and do side quests and stuff together, the greater their affinity with each other grows. And the greater their affinity for each other, the more heart-to-heart conversations, extra special little cutscene things that you can do, which give you more affinity, which is weird because you need affinity to do the little cutscenes that give you more affinity. That doesn't seem balanced quite correctly. But I like the attempts to force you to try out different combinations of characters, even different lead characters. Here's the problem. You really don't want to use anyone other than Shulk as the lead, and you always want Karna in your party somewhere. Because Shulk has the Monado, which is the only weapon in the game that can protect you against enemy super attacks. If you don't have Shulk in your party and you're not controlling him and an enemy's going to do a super attack, there are some things you can do, but for the most part you're probably going to get killed. That's a shame. And Karna, she's your main healer. A couple of the other characters have like one heal spell. Shulk, for instance, has 1 light heal, but Karna has, the clear debuffs and the cure status ailments, individual heals, group heals. She is a main she's like, you always want her. So the way you're inclined to play the game, you're encouraged to mix it up, but you're inclined to use Shulk as the lead, Karna in position 2, and someone else in position 3. Probably someone who's a heavy hitter like Ryan's a good one because he's the tank. He can aggro the enemy and just take a lot of damage while you poke him in the butt. If you're late in the game, Fiona, whatever her name is, she's a powerhouse. Melina, or whatever her name is, she's good at elemental stuff. Maybe if you had a party of 4, you'd use her, but she's not terribly strong. Ricky's kind of useless. He'd probably be a good support if you had 4 places, but yeah, so it's kind of like that. So I got through a bunch of the game with Shulk. Everyone has a wonderful relationship with Shulk. The affinity between Shulk and everyone is like maxed out. But everyone else hates each other. No one else likes each other at all. So I really had to force myself to flip things around and play with some of the other characters in the lead roles. Of course, you can also brute force it. You can give gifts, which means force feed them all the garbage you've been picking up off the ground until they like you. Because all the garbage you pick up off the ground Every character either doesn't like it, likes it, or doesn't like it to greater degrees. So if one character gifts the other character a thing, you can increase or decrease their affinity. So if you want to do a heart-to-heart conversation and someone doesn't like you enough, you just go through your list of garbage that you've been picking up over the last 80 hours and you just force-feed them shit until they like you. And it makes me giggle because I think about it. Yeah, here, have a cockroach. Oh, thanks, I love it. Here, have a cockroach. Oh, wonderful. Here, have another cockroach. I've got 27 of these. Do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? Come on, come on. Oh, I'm out of cockroaches. Okay, here's a moldy flower. Here's a applying these people the garbage you picked up off the floor, and they were with you when you picked it up off the floor. They're helping carry all that shit. I think their affinity goes up just so you'll stop giving them garbage to hold. They're like, yes, I like you. Please stop giving me presents. From the bag of shit that we all fill. YouTubers use it. Melia, thank you. You use her a lot. If you know... she's good. Melia is a really interesting character in how she plays. Because she has these, like, she summons elementals, which each different element has a different, like, if you summon ice, it provides some buff or debuff protection. If you summon wind elemental, it does something. And the more elementals you summon, the greater her attacks go, and then you can throw them all out at a bad guy for an ultimate attack. Very bare bones description of how she plays. She's very different from all the other characters. What I found with Melia is she works really well in the pole position when you are controlling her. She's a powerhouse. She's great when I play her. When the PC plays her, she's kind of useless. For those who don't know, you have 3 characters in your main party. You decide how your main character attacks. The other 2 are controlled by the computer. To varying degrees of success. And the game has a system where if you do one type of attack that... I forget what order this goes in, but if you do an attack that causes the break effect, you break the enemy's guard, then someone can follow it up with a topple, which will knock them on their ass. And then someone else can follow it up with daze, which will keep them on the ground so you can keep poking them in the butt with a stick. Which is cool, except you can't really plan for that very well. So I could break someone, and then you just kind of hope that the other characters will do the correct things in the correct order. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. So, there are other things you can do. Like, there's a big chain attack thing where you get to control what attacks are done by each character in what order. So that way you can actually control that kind of thing. But yeah, Melia is a fine character. I just find that for me, she works a lot better as the lead of my party than as a support, controlled by the computer. At least she doesn't do what I want when I want. Truber says, I hoard elixirs in Final Fantasy games, never get around to using the damn things half the time. Yeah, I'm the same way in games like Dragon Quest. I pick up everything that's not... I will never use this thing. Throw it away. No! Sell it. I might need it! Melia AI is pretty bad. Yeah. Shove love down their throat. Accept my love! In the form of this rat that I found in the cave here. I've got a whole bag of them. This bag of rats. This bag of rats represents my love. Take my love in this form of bag. Okay. Okay, I've been yammering about Xenoblade. Then I have still not finished Xenoblade yet. I have my critiques. Really, the biggest problem with Xenoblade, I would say, is it's it's not that old. It's only like 11 or 12 years old now, but it's a 2010, 2011 game, and it's very 2010, 2011 for what it's worth. It does a lot of things really, really well. Some things not so well, but overall it's a fun experience. It's got a lot that I really like about it, including, as I mentioned, one of the best video game worlds. It's right up there. Not sure how I'd rank them. Okay, so I think we're done with the podcast for tonight. I need to eat dinner and then play some more Xenoblade Chronicles. Tomorrow is Easter, so happy Easter Eve. Pardon me. Hope you all had a good Friday. Tomorrow morning, I think at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be premiering a special Easter video. So I hope you'll watch that with me. That will be followed by a supplemental Easter video, which is kind of a behind-the-scenes thing. So it's only like 4.5 minutes long. It's scripted. It actually involved editing, so it's silly. I hope you'll watch the premiere with me. I'm still editing the supplemental video, so I can't really schedule the premiere until I have the other one uploaded, because I can't link to it in the credits until it exists, and I can't do that until I finish editing it. So I've still got some work to do. I should stop playing video games and actually finish editing this damn thing. Anyway, so tomorrow we've got a fun Easter video before the some more Trails in the Sky. So hope you're looking forward to that. Viper says, if you ever get a chance, you should try Xenogears from the PS1 era. I've yet to find another Xeno game as good, so much so I named my kid after one of the characters. How about that? All right. Okay, so that's it. Remember, got some Easter videos tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then game stream, Trails in the Sky SC, noon Pacific Standard Time. So, will we beat the game tomorrow? The way I play? No, probably not. So, hope to see you then. Have a good night, everyone. Happy Easter Eve. Bye-bye.